You speak too soft or use the mic.
Too soft.
Or make believe
I
you're
hate microphones.
make believe you're in a phone
For
booth.
30 years, I hate them. You know,
Are you offended by what I said now?
am I offended?
Yeah.
No, I don't agree.
What you don't agree?
I think it is very hard. You're talking in absolute terms
Yeah.
about variations on themes.
Such as?
Well, it is most assuredly a colonial land. It's assuredly a colonial, expansionist land.
Why do you say
grab.
colonialist?
Because, I say colonial because it is, we're dealing with ridiculous borders, but there are borders. And so if we in any way consider the current borders, then we can see land, more and more land that Palestinians used to call their own is
Agreed.
ending up in Israel's control. Extreme authoritarian control. We have colonialism, resources. Well, the settlements are all in places where there's lots of water. Is that a surprise? That's colonialism. That's seizing the resources of the land out from under the people. I consider that
Very important.
colonialistic.
Very important, very important. Okay. We have to refine it. What you're talking now is not about colonialism, it's about expansionism, nationalism, and authoritarianism. However, there is something that I totally agree with you. The relationship between Israel and the settlements can be seen as a micro, colonial exchange. You're totally right. The relationship between Israel, but this is, by the way, not Zionism. This doesn't make Zionism into a colonial movement. This makes Israel policy into a micro-colonial setting because we have the mother state, Israel, with its capital Jerusalem, and the settlements that are satellite settlements, an exchange of goods and so on. You are right, but this is not what makes Israel into a colonial state, and this is indeed justifying, for instance, the boycott on goods that are coming from the settlements, because they are on Palestinian land and so on and so on and so on. So I agree with you, but this is, when we call Israel a Zionism, we see it as a colonialism setting, it's not because of this micro case. There are two reasons. There is one reason why we call Israel apartheid and we call Israel colonialism. Very simple. If Israel is colonialism, we want to believe that one day it will be resolved into a post-colonial phase, and this will be the end of it. Why do we do it? Because Marxists and progressives know what to do with colonialism, the thing that they know. It fits into their theory. You know the joke about the Soviet social scientists. When they find out that the facts don't fit into the theory, they change the facts. And this is exactly what we do with Israel. We change the facts to fit into the theory, and I'm sorry, it's not colonialism. This is, by the way, Alam, who is an economist, wrote a wonderful book, and he actually solved this issue. He said Israel is the unique form of colonialism because there is no mother state. We have a surrogate mom.
Surrogate mom.
So one day, in the beginning, it was Britain, and then it was France, and now it's America, and they're already looking for India.
Yes, I remember.
You know. It reminds me of Woody Allen joke. You know, it's like about a single mom. And you say one mother is enough. You know, they like a lot of mothers. Yeah, but even if Alam is correct, and by the way, he is correct. He is correct. It is a surrogate mom. So then it's a unique colonial setting. It's a unique colonial setting. So we don't get nothing out of this colonial because we cannot use the historical pattern and predict where it is going to go. Why do we use the apartheid? Because if it is apartheid, again, it's not the Jewish state being a unique evil. We had a lot of other evils. We had South Africa and we had the Southern United States and so on and so on. And there is a hope that it will change. But if I'm correct, and I am correct, if I'm correct, if Israel is the Jewish state, and it's driven by Jewish ideology, it's not going to be solved that easily. Because if it's defined politically by systems of chosenness, all these policies are driven by that very ideology. And this ideology is not going to change voluntarily. And it's very problematic, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't apologize.
No, but it is.
Don't ever apologize for something that you believe in. I'm
No.
all for standing by it. What I'm gonna do here, and this is gonna be the moderator's prerogative.
Yeah.
As I stated in my own mea culpa, I'm not a philosopher. And it's more of a practical matter for me. You can call this a certain kind of micro-colonialism. You can call it what you want. But there are two groups of people, and one is terribly oppressing the other under the microscope of the world. And you're talking about Jewish power in the context of this struggle and this problem. And I'm sitting here because that deserves to be heard and discoursed about. But again, I'm not a philosopher, and I'm not fully familiar. I haven't read all the books, and I'd much rather, honestly, I said this before, I'd much rather hear you play than read.
I'm familiar with this.
For me, it's a transcendent thing and a much deeper kind of communication. I'm a poet. I really hope that I live most of my life in a spiritual place, because I'm tired of seeing people shred each other, either intellectually or on the battlefield. Having said all that, this room is full of very smart people. And
Don't give up on yourself, man.
Don't get me wrong.
No,
I understand what I care about, what I understand best, what my strengths are, and what my weaknesses are. I think I could be a good moderator here, and I think there's a lot of people here who have a lot to say, and would like to really question you, and could question you much better in your philosophy than I could. So,
and I would just feel free to be very critical and vicious. Don't be afraid to say what you think. It's important.
all right, let me start with Henry.